Hey internet, Acid Jane here and welcome to another speed build. So as you can see from the title of this video, today I am building a classic Cape Cod, and as you can see from the thumbnail, this build utilizes the base game and the Cats and Dogs expansion pack only. That's not exactly true because when I uploaded this to the gallery told me that there was something from Get Together somewhere in this build. It's probably not anything important, so if you don't have Get Together and that thing is missing from your game, it's probably only a decorative item, but just so you know, it's almost all base game and Cats and Dogs only. If you do want to download this from the gallery, my origin ID is AcidJaneYT. I recently changed that from something else, so just be aware of that. My origin ID is listed in the description down below, so if you want to download this build, you could check out the description bar and yeah, look me up from there. So I'll talk to you a bit more in a minute about why I wanted to build a Cape Cod style home, but before I do, let me tell you a little bit about the style itself. So a Cape Cod style home is really common in New England, particularly in Cape Cod, after which it's named. Cape Cod, if you don't know, is located in Massachusetts. It's southeast of Boston, and it's pretty close to Plymouth, which isn't that where the Pilgrims landed? You know? The whole Thanksgiving thing. Maybe this build is a bit more relevant to the month of November than I first thought, because I didn't think about that until now. But anyway, Cape Cod style homes are really common in New England. Some characteristics of Cape Cod style homes are a very square and symmetrical shape, chimneys either on both sides of the home or right in the middle of the house, one big one right in the middle of the house. They're often only one story, perhaps sometimes they are 2 stories if you include the attic. Cape Cod style homes also tend to have low ceilings, a very steep gabled roof, and shuttered windows, and all the characteristics of a Cape Cod home are designed to combat New England winters. So for instance, the shutters on the windows are there so you could close them to keep harsh cold winds out. The low ceilings, the square shape, and the placement of the chimneys are there to help maximize the amount of heat generated by those chimneys and distributed throughout the home. The steep gabled roof is designed to help snow slide off of it when there's a lot of snow in New England in the winter. And yeah, these houses just tend to be small, compact, efficient, and very, very cozy. That coziness is a big reason why I wanted to build a Cape Cod style home, because I think just now that the cold's setting in, I'm feeling very cozy myself, or desiring coziness, I guess. And also, I really wanted to use Cats and Dogs as my base game plus a pack build, because, I don't know, the Cats and Dogs pack, it's just, the furniture is really great, all of the build and buy items are really great, and it's also got a very cozy vibe that's great for either like a coastal build or for like a farmhouse build. So I thought it would just be really suitable for a Cape Cod style home, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. So I think that this style of house plus that pack, they just work really well together. So you can see that the exterior of this build is coming along pretty nicely now. We've got a brick on the exterior, we've got a bright red door complemented by a white frame, we've got white windows with black shutters, we've got some white Cats and Dogs shingles on the upper story, and we've got a couple of brick chimneys on the side. So I did want to add a little bit of variety to the shape of the house. I just didn't, I don't know, the idea of a perfectly square house wasn't really suiting me, so I did add on a back porch just to help with that variety. I love the red doors that I've got on the back. I think that they complement the front door and the overall vibe of the exterior perfectly. This build kind of has an attic, which I just recently discovered that you could do in The Sims 4. If you want to know how to build an attic in The Sims 4, Simarchy has a pretty good tutorial. But yeah, the reason why I don't think I can truly call the second story of this build an attic is because I did actually build walls on the second story, but it's got sloped ceilings and so kind of a cozy attic vibe. This build, by the way, contains 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. There's 1 bedroom and 1 bathroom on each of the 2 stories. There's a very cozy and compact living room on the first story, as well as a kitchen and dining room. And then upstairs there is a sort of office slash second living room slash probably a guest room. You'll see when we get there. I built this house in Brindleton Bay, by the way. I built it on the Bedlington Boathouse lot. I think that's what it's called anyway. It's where the Brindleton Bay starter home is. I built it in Brindleton Bay because I thought that Brindleton Bay was perfect for a New England style home. And while I was building this house and furnishing it, I started to imagine a particular family in my mind who would live in this house. I imagined that a small family of 3 lived in this house, that there was a mom and a dad and a preteen daughter. But I imagined that the dad was probably an architect, someone who worked a lot from home, but who also met with clients a lot from home, which is why I wanted the upstairs living space to serve as a sort of an office. And I imagined that the mom was probably someone who, maybe she was a doctor, but someone who was really into sports, and maybe she was on some sort of crew team or did a lot of sailing, and that the whole family are pet lovers, that they have a cat and at least 1 dog, and that the mom probably runs a lot of marathons, maybe even some marathons with her dog, I don't know. But that's who I was imagining living in this house. So you can see that I'm just about done with the exterior of this build, and I'll shortly be moving on to the interior. But before I talk more about this build, I thought we could just chat a little bit. I thought I could give you a little bit of a life update. So what's been going on in my life? Honestly, not much. I've just been working a lot. I've been working a whole lot, actually. I'm pretty tired from that. That's probably why my voice sounds pretty crackly, is because today's my day off, and yeah, I just haven't been getting much sleep lately. So today is my cat's 10th birthday. She is officially a senior cat now. She doesn't act like a senior cat. She's still really playful. She's also like unusually tiny, so she looks like a kitten. But yeah, today is her 10th birthday. I've had her since she was a kitten. She's my little companion. She's been my little companion for almost 10 years now, and yeah, happy birthday to her. It makes me sad to think of her getting older, but yeah, we did give her a lot of pats on her birthday. We played with her a lot on her birthday. She got a lot of treats, so I think overall it was a pretty good birthday for her. What else has been going on? I've been working a lot. It's been my cat's birthday. That's really about it. I'm just super excited for Get Famous to come out. The terrain tools are coming out in a couple of days, which I honestly still don't know what I'm going to do with them yet. I have a feeling that I'm going to build like a regular house and add a little bit of terrain variation in the yard. I'm not sure. I know I'm already starting to feel overwhelmed by the new terrain tools. And I think it's honestly going to take me a little while before I get comfortable with them. But yeah, I'm excited for them to finally get here. And I can't wait to see what more experienced builders than I do with them. I think it's going to be really cool, and I'm really excited to see what people come up with. But as you can see, I'm starting now to furnish the living space, the downstairs living space that is, and I'm using these super cozy cats and dogs love seats and armchairs, and I'm in love with so many of the swatches that are on these armchairs and love seats. I really love this plaid one particularly. There is a teal and gold one that I really want to use in another build sometime soon. This beautiful fireplace that we got with the Cats and Dogs expansion pack is it's amazing. I love the light blue wood color, and I also really love those warm, I guess they're bricks, very thin bricks that line the actual fire pit part of the fireplace. You can see that I'm also utilizing a lot of the beautiful wooden furniture that we got with Cats and Dogs. I've got that little shelf in the corner. I've got another bookshelf in another corner. I'm also using this cute little coffee table that's got a bit of a nautical vibe and these beautiful Cats and Dogs curtains. There are a lot of good swatches on those curtains too, and I was kind of iffy about going with the cream and the gold one just because there's so many good colorful ones that I felt like I should choose one of those, but I do think that these ones complement the furniture in the room best. So that's why I decided to go with those. I do end up putting a little TV area in by the side of the stairs. It's a very compact living space, and I didn't actually play test this room, the TV in this room that is, but I think your Sims will probably be able to watch it with no problem, so I don't know why they wouldn't be able to. You can also see that I'm including this cool woven rug that we got with cats and dogs, and a lot of these nautical paintings. I think I use all of the swatches of that painting throughout the house. Ooh, I also use this very dark blue wall texture. I wasn't sure what color I wanted to make this living room, but all of the furniture seemed to be pretty light and not too saturated, so I felt like I needed a color that had, you know, that punch of saturation. And when I put that dark blue swatch up, I immediately felt that that was right. So yeah, I continue using that dark blue throughout the living space downstairs, and I also incorporate it a bit in the living space upstairs too. And yeah, I really like that dark blue. I think it goes well with all of the different brown tones throughout the house, the ones on the floor and the ones in the furniture. I also think that it looks really great against little pops of white that are everywhere, including around the baseboard and the trim on the upper part of the room. And I think that it's also a great color to complement the bright red doors. So yeah, I include a few more pops of red throughout the house as well, throughout the downstairs particularly, including that little lighthouse that is on the table that's near the entrance of the house. And I include a lot of pops of red in the kitchen area, which we're working on now as well. So you can see that I've got the pops of red on the doors. I also include some pops of red on the dining chairs that I end up going with in the end. And I also put down a bright red pet food mat. Is that what you call it? I guess so. It's a mat that you set pet bowls on, but it's super bright red, and I think it just looks really good. I'm really happy with how the interior of this build turned out, and I found it really refreshing to limit myself to only 2 packs. I found it refreshing because I often find myself feeling overwhelmed with the number of items available in the catalog, so I'm definitely going to be doing more base game plus a pack builds in the future. You can see that I've added in a little coffee bar. I didn't know what to do with that space because originally when I had made that little alcove behind the stairs, I was going to put in a laundry machine, but then I remembered, oh yeah, I can't use the stuff from the laundry pack, so I've got to come up with something else. And I thought that a coffee bar would be nice. There wasn't too much counter space in the kitchen. The kitchen is pretty compact, so I thought that maybe if I give a little bit more counter space, that would be nice. That way this family could have a microwave and a coffee machine and still have everything fit comfortably there. You can see now that I'm starting to put in the dining table and the dining chairs. I love the dining chairs that we got with cats and dogs. These ones that I end up going with the patterned cushion. I just think it's so cute. Super, super cute. You can see that I had considered putting that gigantic hutch in the kitchen slash dining room for a while, but it was just way too big for such a small space. So I end up putting instead that shelf that has the leashes on it because that shelf is so cute. I did have to size it down just because it seemed too big, but I think that that's the perfect little spot for it. You can see now that I am working on the master bedroom. This is the bedroom that's downstairs, and that I have chosen to go with this bed that came with cats and dogs. I think in the catalog it's called a colonial bed. It's got a lot of great swatches. I decided to go for the one that has the blue wood and the neutral toned covers just because I was really into that blue, and I don't know, I was just drawn to it for some reason. I just thought that it looked really cozy and nice. That is the word of this build, isn't it? Cozy. But I end up going with more of a mauve theme in this bedroom. People always give me shit for liking the color mauve, but it's just so beautiful and serene to me. Mauve is like a pinkish purplish color, and I don't know why people hate on it so much because it's a beautiful color. But the mauve theme starts to come in when I apply the wall texture in here, which by the way is the same as the one that's in the living room and in the kitchen area. It's just a different swatch, but it's this beautiful mauve colored swatch. And I also end up using the rug that has a bit of a leaf print on the floor in this room, in addition to a more purpley toned swatch of the cats and dogs woven rug. You can see that I include the same curtains that I included in the living room again once in this room. I think I also end up going with the same swatch. Yeah, it looks like I end up going with the same swatch that I used, which I felt a little bit uncomfortable with just because I felt like, I don't know, I kind of felt like that was cheating to use the same swatch again, but it also makes sense. Like, people, when they're buying curtains for a house, probably buy curtains for more than one room, says the person who has bought curtains a total of one time in her entire life, and that was like a month ago, so what do I really know? But yeah, you can see that I've got this beautiful purple shade on the walls. I guess this one is really more of like a plum rather than a mauve. Upstairs in the daughter's bedroom, I go with more of a mauve color. But I really like the colors on the walls in this room. I just find it so relaxing. Oh yeah, and I included that fireplace in this room as well, so this room just screams cozy. I'm using that word way too much, but what can I say? It's a cozy build. It's a very cozy build. There's that leaf printed rug that I was talking about earlier. I think that it really just ties in the room nicely, and I thought that having two rugs on the floor of this room made a lot of sense because in the winters the floor is probably very cold, and also because the size and shape of this room really just kind of demanded more than one rug, so I think two rugs was the way to go. You can see that I'm now working on the downstairs bathroom of this build. I'm only going to show you a little bit of this because I kind of struggled with this bathroom, with trying to make it look not so neutral, and with trying particularly to figure out what shower I wanted to include, because we got a lot of bathroom furniture with cats and dogs, so I wanted to use that furniture since this was a build featuring cats and dogs. But I couldn't really find any showers that matched the bathroom furniture that we got with cats and dogs. They all just seemed too modern. So yeah, I show you a little bit of me furnishing this bathroom, but I cut it out because I end up being really decisive, namely because of the showers. But so this bathroom ends up having a bathtub, a double vanity, a toilet, of course, a shower, actually in the opposite corner of where you see me trying to place it now. It ends up being closer to the door. And I also include some red curtains in here. And that red, once I brought in those red curtains, really seemed to bring the whole room together. But yeah, like I said, I'm only going to show you a little bit of me furnishing this bathroom. I'm also not going to show you any of me furnishing the upstairs bathroom just because I use mostly the same items and I think it would be redundant to show you basically the same bathroom twice. But you can see me now working on the upstairs bedroom. I love how this bedroom came out. I love this beautiful four-postered quilted bed that we got with cats and dogs. The frame of this bed is it's just really gorgeous. I don't know, I just really like it a lot. It just looks like a princess's bed and it makes me want to sleep in it. But I also really like the swatches that came with it. A lot of the swatches are different quilt swatches, but a lot of them are also just plain covers, so there is a good variety, but I really like this quilt swatch particularly because I really like all of the colors in it. I like that seafoam green, and I really like how that green goes with the dresser and the end table next to the bed. I also really like the pops of pink and the dark red that is in that quilt, and also the yellow. I just felt like that gave me a reason to bring in a lot of pops of color in other parts of the room as well. It just helped tie all of those pops of color together. So like I said earlier, I imagine this to be the bedroom of a preteen girl. I'm a girl and I tend to just furnish for girls, which is why I decided that this was a bedroom for a girl. But I imagined that this bedroom was for a preteen girl, particularly because the full-size bed makes me think that it's the bedroom of an older child, but there are also a lot of elements of her childhood in this room. So for instance, I end up putting a penguin TV on the dresser, and there is also a bear chair near the bookshelf. And so I wanted to, include a lot of, kitty elements in here because I thought that they were cute, and because usually the kitty elements are in bright colors that I thought would work well with this room. But yeah, I really wanted to use this full-size bed, and it seems kind of weird to give like a young child a full-size bed. I don't know, that's what I came up with, and I really like how this room turned out. Furnishing this room was not exactly easy because since this was sort of an attic upstairs, in order to make attics accessible, in order to actually like see what's inside of them, you usually have to furnish them with the walls completely down, just because the roof starts to get in the way if you don't do that. But that made it extremely difficult to put things on the walls, and often I would put something on a wall and then the walls would disappear, and I found that I couldn't get the walls to reappear again. So yeah, putting things on the walls in this room was kind of a chore, but I really like how it turned out. I end up putting a shelf that we got with cats and dogs above the bed, and on that shelf I put the decor item with the baby shoes, and also the little kid picture of a bunny. I also end up putting a couple of tree wall decals on the wall of this room that is closest to the door, and I think that those help fill up that space, but also just help add to the cuteness of this room. I also use the same curtains that I use downstairs once again in this room. So the placement of the window was kind of weird in this room, and it looked good from the outside, so I wanted it to stay where it was, but it didn't look so good from the inside. So part of the reason why I chose to use these same curtains was because I wanted to cover up some of that window from the inside. I end up going with I think a teal and a dark green swatch, or do I end up going with the one that has gold on it? I'm not sure, but I do use a different swatch than I use downstairs. So you can see now that I'm starting to begin the process of adding things to the walls, and that the struggle of doing that is beginning. So I'm not going to show you too much of that struggle just because I did a lot of it off camera. But yeah, I really love how this bedroom turned out. I would definitely sleep in this bedroom. It looks so nice to me. So nice and cozy. But anyway, moving on to the final room that I furnish in this house, which, like I said earlier, is this upstairs living/office space / possibly a guest bedroom space. The reason why I say it's possibly a guest bedroom space is because I use this other couch that we got with cats and dogs, and to me it looks like the kind of couch that contains a pull-out bed. So I thought that this one probably does, and that this would be a good space for guests to stay because it's kind of private, but it also doesn't like occupy a whole other room. So I thought that it would be perfect for a very compact house, one that could be converted into a living space or into a bedroom as needed. So I end up using a lot of nautical decor items in this room. My thought was that the dad was into model ship making, so I include several different model ships that we got with the cats and dogs pack. I tried to include this aquarium for a while, but in the end I decided it was just too big. I really wanted to include some sort of like poker or card game setup, mostly because I really wanted to include that picture of the dogs playing poker, but I end up getting rid of the poker table just because I really didn't like any of the swatches that it came with. But I do still keep the dogs playing poker painting. I just size it down a little bit so it doesn't become the whole theme of the room. Where the aquarium is currently, after I end up getting rid of it, I end up putting a cat bed there, which I think is perfect and looks super cute. I wasn't sure for a while how to arrange the office setup, so I end up putting the desk facing the inside of the room and 2 chairs in front of the desk, just because I thought that maybe, if this dad is something like an architect and he's working from home a lot, but maybe he has to meet with clients sometimes, that this would be a good space for him to meet with those clients. So I'm nearly finished furnishing this room, which means that this speed build is nearly finished as well. We're about to come up on the screenshots. So I really like how this build turned out, and I really hope that you like it too. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know what base game plus a pack I should do in my next build. I could do a base game plus get famous pack. I'm definitely going to be doing a lot of get famous builds. I'm already working on a couple of them now. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. Like I said, I really hope that you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you in another one very soon. Goodbye!